Good morning, everyone. Dreamforge back with another episode of Battle Brother Basics, where we talk about fundamental concepts of the game of Battle Brothers. I'm outside here of Wolfenstein, just chilling with my bros, talking about resources and renown today. Why is that important? It is very important to understand if you go into the higher difficulties, because resources is something you constantly need. They all have specific purposes, and understanding the rate, how you use, for example, tools, or how much food you actually need to get to the next town, can help making better decisions. And sometimes, especially in the beginning, you need every crown you can get. And again, understanding how everything works is, I think, is a key component to become a very good Battle Brother player. Alright, let's just dive right into it. Let's just start with crowns. Crowns is what you would expect, something you need to buy stuff, to pay your bros, they want to have money, obviously, every day. It kind of varies how much you need. Like, for example, that belly dancer, 28 crowns a day, which is kind of expensive to be honest, and he is 14 a day. How much you have to pay for every bro depends a bit about where the origin is. Some have traits like greedy that increase that, obviously, right? It's not always the case, but the higher the level, they're probably more expensive. Crowns are just what you basically would expect. You just need us to buy stuff. So you want to conserve as much money as you can and make good buying decisions. The next on the list is provision, and as it says, you need 2 provision a day for every fighter you have. It doesn't matter if they're in the front line or not. This varies. If somebody is gluttonous, then I think you need them 3, or he's Spartan, then he just need 1. Provisions come in a lot of different shapes and sizes, I would say, and they vary in. Let's just go into the inventory. They vary in quality. Having this ground grain, for example, this is the lowest tier of food, and this is obviously higher, it's more expensive. This is, I would say, yeah. And this is, if you play like me here, like low bonds, this is not a big deal. But if you play gladiators, they will be angry at you at some point if you only buy low quality stuff. And on top of that, if you only buy the lowest, like the ground grains, then there's a possibility that one event happens, everyone is very mad at you because they only ate ground grains for like a couple of days in a row. So you want to try to prevent that. Always mix this up. You don't have to do much. It's not that you have to be aware of this all the time, but only having this for longer periods of time, this is sometimes what you have to do. But if you can mix up 1 bread, or let's say 1 berries, or maybe fish or ham in there, and you should be good to go. Tools is something you need to repair your gear. Is there any gear broken here? Okay. So for every 15 durability, I need 1 tool. Okay. I think the repair rate is something like 5 durability an hour. But yeah, you need tools for this. Tools are something you buy constantly. Just to give a rough idea, I will make a video that I explain this way more into detail, but a normal price for tools is 250. You always should try to buy for that or for lower. Sometimes you really have to. I think I bought sometimes tools for over 300 because I was really in dire need of new tools. Tools is something you always need, right? And what you can do, if you have an item in your inventory and you think, hey, this is a cool helmet, I probably want to use that, you can press Alt and right click and give the order to repair that, even though nobody is wearing this. So this is sometimes very handy if you have gear that is valuable, like a great axe or a mace or a pike. And if you repair it, it is worth more money. You learn there's certain weapons like those, for example, they're more worth if they're repaired fully. And then you want to do this. This is just to generate more money. This makes actually a big difference because selling loot from fights is a big money gainer. Again, 1 tool for 15 durability, but you don't have to calculate that. They kind of tell you how much you need and how long it takes. Those things are really handy. This is how much provision you need. This is how much crowns you have and how much money you need every day, right? To pay everyone and how long your money will last. Like very useful information. Ammunition is Very, very straightforward. I think there's just one thing that is not straightforward. Those, if you shoot once, you will use up 1 ammunition. But if you use a throwing weapon, let's say those javelins, throwing axes, they will use up 3 to replace 1. Throwing all of those 5 away would result in spending 15 ammunition to get this back. I think this is the only thing that is not so intuitive. But yeah, nothing else really to say here. Despite if you have ranged users, yeah, they shouldn't be too expensive. This is kind of expensive. Everything under 140 is fine-ish. The last one in the top left is medical supplies. If you don't have a building, sometimes cities don't even have them at all. If there's not a medical building that produces those, they can sometimes cost up to 400 or something. It's really bad. But you really need them. You can, if you really want to be very cheap, you can kill barbarians. They regularly have those. What are medical supplies exactly doing? You don't need them for this fellow here, Geralt, my soldier. He needs to regen 1 HP. You don't need medical supplies for this. They do this automatically. Even if you have 0, there's nothing to worry. But what they do is, Geralt got like a very pesky injury here, exposed ribs. That looks pretty painful. But you see, will heal in 2 to 6 days. And for every day that goes on, and tomorrow would be like heals in 1 to 5 days, you need 1 medical supply. So it could be the case that he is fully regened, but he has still 1 to 5 days left because you don't have any medical supplies. You can see this fully here too. Right, I just have 1 fighter that's actually injured. It takes 2 to 6 days. It's possible that after 3 days that thing is gone and you don't need medical supplies at all. Having sufficient of them absolutely makes sense. Where you actually find those things. If you see like those buildings, they're not just there because they look cool. Some actually tell you very useful information. If you are on this map, for example, right, and you really need tools, you're very low on crowns, but you need a lot of tools. Then it would be a good idea to look where blast furnaces are. Blast furnaces are indicator in what cities are sufficient tools, where you can buy a lot of them. And in every city where blast furnaces are, you will have a lot of them. Sometimes 10, 15 or something, more than you actually need. And the price is very often, I would say, around the 250 mark. So let's say I'm in the wilderness, right? I'm coming from here. My inventory is full, I don't have tools, half of my bros are dead, or half dead. And I just looked like, where can I find tools? I really have to sell, I really need a lot of tools to just go back, right? You don't want to run around like 10 days to find some tools. Is here a blast furnace? There isn't. But here would be a lumber camp, hunter's cabin, a gatherer hut. They all do something. I can make a video if you really want to explain what everything of those buildings do and what you can expect in that town, but this is not the place. A pig farm, a brewery, there will be some beer here obviously, and here's another blast furnace. So this city would have enough tools. Even the Stonewatch towers, there is certain probabilities that certain things are more likely to occur here. So this is way more deeper and complex that I want to show here. Here's not a blast furnace, but here is an ore smelter, right? An ore smelter just means that the chances of having lots of weapons and armors, and they have high quality, is higher because there is an ore smelter. But yay, here's a blast furnace. So if you really need that, and you actually need a lot of them, it does make sense. Then you maybe have one stack of tools here, right? Then you run to the next city. And there's maybe 2 stacks of tools here. You should try to avoid that. But yeah, I kind of digress a little bit. I'm sorry. It's just like so much you can actually talk about in Battle Brothers. One last thing I want to talk about in this, the Renown system. The higher your renown is, the more money you will get. It's a system where the more renown you have, the more people trust you getting their job done. Sadly, there's no contract here. But in the beginning, if you have like, let's say, minus 100 renown when you start as peasant militia, you will get very bad deals. missions give you 170 crowns or something like, and later on they will give you way more, like 500-600, basically for the same mission. Renown has a lot of modifiers, works in a certain way. For example, if you just wait around and you don't do anything, your renown will decay. It doesn't mean you have to run around and kill everything just to keep it up. It's not that bad, but you lose 3 renown every day. And there are certain things like retreating from a fight results in minus 15 renown. You cancel a contract, you lose 100 renown. But for example, if you destroy a location, you find like this, for example. If I would go here, then the destroying of that location would result in 10 renown. Right? But then you want to fight, so you get plus 5 renown too for every fight you fight. If you complete a contract, you get plus 25, and those ambitions they always give like plus 100. Sometimes even more if they say they give even more renown, right? They are a big boost to your renown. This is not something you have to worry about. When you make decisions, you shouldn't run from every fight that is maybe a little bit too hard, or you think, I'm not sure if I can do this. Because if you do this, you keep your renown very low, and this would result in having not as much money paid. That was everything I wanted to share today about the Battle Brother basics, resources and renown section. Hope you enjoyed that. If you have any questions to this, or maybe I didn't explain a concept deeply enough and you wanna know more about that, then just let me know in the comments. Alright, I wish everyone a great day. Do something fun, whatever you do or wherever you are right now, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.